let me just ask you straight up. What is your prediction for this game? Who do you have winning this game and why?
Okay, so I got Green Bay straight up. No ifs, ands, or buts, no outcome. Solely because best receiver in football is on that team. That Tampa Bay secondary, don't want to hear it. If Jalen Ramsey couldn't guard this man, ain't nobody on Tampa going to guard him. You could put two people on him, he might still go up and get it. And I think that double team is going to leave a lot of people open. And if you stack the box for that three-headed monster that's back there in that backfield, man coverage on Davante Adams all day, so be it. Top-rated corner with, I forget his first name, but Alexander on Green Bay. Jair Alexander has played out of his fucking mind. And I don't remember the statistic, but it was like the first time an NFL team had the best receiver and the best cornerback on the same team was, I don't even remember when it was, but it's like unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay's
and arguably the best quarterback.
You like, I get it. Tom's been beating people. Tom's been upsetting people. Tom's been shocking the world. The running game has been great for Tampa. The run stop has been great for Tampa. I'm curious to see how Green Bay is going to combat that whole rush defense. But you got to pick your poison. You lock up that run game, or you say, yo, lock up this man Davante Adams. It reminds me of the Ohio State game where it was like, what you gonna do? Because Ohio State's three running backs is pretty fucking nice, and then Green Bay's running backs is nice, but they talent is Davante Adams. So I got Green Bay going up. I got Green Bay winning, especially since they home and it's gonna snow. I got Green Bay winning by 10.
I'm gonna go out on
Come on
here.
Tell me.
Come on,
tell me your boys going.
I think the Bucs win this one. I think they win it by 4. I think they win it by 4 points. It's going to be a fun game. But look, I think the last time that Brady played in Lambeau, I think it was in 2014. And I remember one of the lasting images that I remember from that game, it was an absolutely great game, was Aaron Rodgers had a third down conversion to end the game. And all I remember was the camera on the sideline that was pointed at Brady was him just screaming, just everything that you could imagine. The dude was pissed that Rodgers got that third down conversion because Brady definitely wanted to get one last crack to win the game on the road against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. I don't know. That's probably not going to play any factor in this game whatsoever, but
a little bias up here, a little bias.
There's a little bias. I mean, look, he's not on the team anymore. I still rock I rock the Patriots, but I gotta support my guy too. So, here's the thing. Let me just knock it up. Let me talk something about other than just Brady. I think, look, Green Bay's gonna have to deal with this rush defense, and I think the one thing that they're probably going to at least try to do is focus on running the ball. Here's the thing: if the Saints had actually run the ball more with Alvin Kamara, they would have had probably a better chance to win that game. But they kind of went away from the run game in the second half, and they kind of more relied on Drew Brees to throw the ball. I think if Green Bay is smart, they stick with the run game the entire time. Will they do that? I don't know. It really kind of depends on the tempo of the game. But I do have faith in Tampa's run defense to not completely neutralize Green Bay's rushing attack, but slow it down. Slow it down to a certain extent. If Aaron Jones is held to about 75 to 80 yards rushing throughout the entire course of the day, I think that's a win in Tampa's book. If he cracks anything over 100, Aaron Jones has the ability to get those big chunk plays. I remember he had one against the Rams last week where he ran for like 50, 60 yards and basically set up Green Bay to get a walk-in touchdown right after. Tampa's going to have to eliminate those completely. If they're able to get him and slow him down to maybe like 4 or 5 yard carries and get them to focus more on Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball, it's a better way to go about it, because I think if they run the ball really effectively, then Rodgers doesn't have to do that much. I do think that the Bucs defense, especially their secondary, they're going to have to do something about Davante. Now, Jalen Ramsey last week was able to slow him down to a certain extent. I still thought Davante had an overall pretty solid game going up against one of the best cornerbacks in the league. So when you look at Tampa's defense, what they were able to do to Michael Thomas last week, that's big. Michael Thomas is one of the best receivers in the league. He's getting paid $20 million, which is a premier price for one of the top receivers in the league. With that said, though, they're going to have their work cut out for Davante. Davante is going to give them problems, and especially up in Green Bay, because that connection between Aaron Rodgers and Davante up in Green Bay is just money. But I think if they're able to vary the coverages a little bit and give Davante some bump and run coverage, they got a shot. If they play in that zone defense, then as far as I'm concerned, the Bucs are going to get cooked. But I think they got to be physical with those receivers, especially Davante. So I think best case scenario for the Bucs is they got to make sure that Davante doesn't beat them. If Robert Tonyan or if Alan Lazard or Marquez Valdez-Scantling beat them, I think that's something that they'll live with. But they will not they should not let Davante just cook for like 10, 15 catches, 120, 150 yards. Because if that happens, the Bucs are going to get cooked. But now that I've talked more about the defense, the part that I'm going to focus on here is I think Brady is going to just do enough to get them past Green Bay. I think, look, if they have AB out there now, AB's health is kind of a question mark right now. But even without him, I think the connection that they're going to have between Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller, Cameron Brate, and Rob Gronkowski, that's a lot to deal with. Now, obviously, I think Jair Alexander is probably going to be matched up with Mike Evans. So Chris Godwin has got to step up. He cannot drop any more of these passes. He had that one potential touchdown last week that he should have caught. And then he had his struggles against Washington. Had four or five drops. Chris Godwin, I think, is the X factor here. I think Mike Evans is going to have a tough day against Jair Alexander. Chris Godwin is going to have to be a man. Like, literally, he has to be the man that kind of carries that wide receiving core, because I think Mike Evans is going to have a tough day. And then Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, they have got to run the ball, because they were able to do very well against New Orleans last week with running the ball between Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. It gives the defense a different look, because if Brady's just going to sit back there for 45, 50 times throwing the ball, the offense is just too one-dimensional. They've got to run the ball. I think they will. I think Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, if they're able to get some holes, I think that both of them together, combined, I think they could get like 125, 150 yards rushing up there. But the Bucs have to commit to the run game. They did it against New Orleans last week, and it really helped them. And really, I thought Tampa Bay last week, their offensive strategy last week was very patient. I think it should be the same thing in this one. I think as long as the defense kind of keeps Aaron Rodgers somewhat limited or somewhat in check, obviously Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to get his. The Green Bay offense is definitely going to get points on the board. But if this is getting into like the fourth quarter and it's a back and forth game, I'm going to give the edge to Tom just a little bit. Now, that's how I see it. Would not surprise me any way, shape, or form if the Packers win and go on to the Super Bowl. I'm just going to be 100% honest about that. But I just think, I think of the possibility, the potential of literally Tampa hosting a Super Bowl the first year that Tom Brady shows up on the team, and they could literally go to the Super Bowl the first year that they do that. I just think that would be insane to me. I know Tom has had his accomplishments. I know he is pretty much the undisputed GOAT. Depends on who you ask. But me thinking about that is just unbelievable to me. Like that, maybe outside of maybe Peyton going to Denver, but I don't even think Peyton went to the Super Bowl the first year that he was on Denver. I think it was his second year.
I think the first year he lost to you guys, or that was
they lost to
Baltimore.
They lost to Baltimore.
Baltimore. That was that Hail Mary to Jacoby Jones.
Yep. So I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a very close game. And like
History
I said,
books. I think so.
the weather is going to play a factor. There's no doubt about that. I think it is going to limit Rodgers and Brees to a certain extent.
Brady.
But if Brady has the ball, they're down by 4, 2-3 minutes left in the game, I'm giving the edge to Tom. I think Tom gets it done. I think the Bucs get it done. I'm thinking this is going to be a really close game. I'm thinking like 27, 23, somewhere around there. It is going to be close. It could be 28, 24, somewhere around kind of like that score.